We're coming into a majorly important close, not only for the weekly time frame, but also for the monthly time frame. And the question is, what happens next? Where are we going to be leading into the month of July? Is it historically bearish or bullish? And also, where can we expect this bull run to come to an end? Not only where, but more importantly, when, because timing is always more important in the market. So without further ado, let's get straight into the show. Smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, because I am bringing you crypto love and wisdom on a Saturday on a morning show here. So I'd much appreciate the likes to come in, because it helps to get the show content out there. Without further ado, I guess let's get straight into the content. Looking at the hourly over here, you can see there is a little bit of an attempt of a bounce. We're going to have a look at the 4-hour time frame closer towards the end of the show. There could be a potential trigger there for a trade opportunity, so get your accounts ready. And if we have a look at the daily, of course, we did experience a little bit of a pullback going into that CME weekly close for Bitcoin, and the weekly time frame mostly up. One of the strongest coins has, of course, been Casper, with the hash rate going through the absolute roof. Big moves over there on Casper. If you look at the monthly, top contender, of course, being Brett, and I'm interested on the yearly as well. Meme coins, right? Running the show. Bonk, Brett, Whiff, definitely the outliers over there in terms of top performers. So the question is, what happens next? We are about to get the Bitcoin June close, as well as, of course, the ETH June close. And what have we historically seen in the month of July? Well, it's mostly been bullish, 7 green, 4 red Julys. And most notably, if you are able to close June green, well, then you might get continuation into July. So the trend is your friend until the end of that trend. And that would be one of the things that we're having a look at. But what I also wanted to look at is the relationship between price action and the prior halving cycles, as well as looking at the prior all-time highs. So I've marked off with the horizontal lines the prior all-time highs. Those are the white ones. And then, of course, the vertical lines running down the screen are going to be the horizontal. And I'm on a monthly scale. And this is quite important to actually have a look at this relationship. So let's zoom in over here and see exactly what happens next. Now, what you previously saw over here was, once you broke that all-time high, and it was after the halving cycle, you had 1-2 months of straight continuation, a little bit of a pause, and then you continue to climb. We'll give it another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. This was a little bit of an indecision candle, but give it 5 months of continuation. So there were 7 more months within that before you set in the ultimate cycle top. Again, most notably, if we mark from here to here, well, ultimately, before the top was set in, you had 8 months, right? Timing-wise, 8 months following the break of the all-time high until you set in the ultimate top. So keep that in the back of your mind. If you go to the next halving cycle over here, which we're looking quite similar to in terms of that consolidation within this region, this was the 2017 cycle where we peaked around $20,000. You can see ultimately, as soon as you got to those all-time highs, you consolidated over there. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, a little bit of a pause over there, 6, 7, 8, 9 months of straight continuation. So we have 8 and 8, right? 8 and 8. If you take from the breakout of this candle, 8 and 8, straight continuation towards the upside. Now you go through to the 2021, 8 and 8. Get to the all-time highs, consolidate. This was a shorter cycle. This one obviously led to continuation for 3 months, came into a big pullback, and then ultimately set the wick high in on the second one, which was 10 months. So 8, 8, and 10, right, has been the name of the game. Now, we haven't actually closed the candle at those all-time highs yet. Following the halving cycle, we have closed candles at all-time highs, but not after the halving cycle. So we're waiting for that next close. Let's just assume hypothetically that it were to take place over here in July, and then we can have a look at the timing of how long that would go on for. Well, 8 months would set you in over here around March 2025. And if you went over to 10 months, which was the previous one, that's May 2025. What happens if we say, well, you have a little bit of a diminishing returns and you go for, instead of 8, you go for the 6 or 7? Well, that would be January to February, the end of this year. So keep that in the back of your mind as we go through the rest of these data sets over here. Ultimately, it is indicative that, well, we should be looking at continuation at least for the rest of this year. You would expect that this bull run would continue, and it's not over, right? That's the point, right? It's not over. If we look at the other timing cycle, which are marked off, now it's interesting how those factors line up, because I have here August to November 2025, and that's simply based off of the timing from bottom to bottom and top to top, right? Top to top, anywhere between 46 and 49 months. You can also look at the relationship between price and the RSI, and the RSI has set in the major top when it's got into this down sloping trend line, which you can see right now, the RSI is downtrending, right? The moving average is still up, but the actual RSI is coming down, and you're still looking for continuation. Now, in terms of a trajectory, you can see it's going to take a little bit of time, right, before you actually start to hit this level. Let's just assume that the moving average continues to follow this trajectory and move onwards and upwards until it gets to this phase over here. Well, that would mark it off, the RSI coming into that trend line between February and March. Now, isn't that interesting? Because when you look at this and you mark off 7 to 9 months, which is what we historically saw following the break of that all-time high, 7 to 9 months later, puts you in that February to March 2025. So that could be a potential end date, right? And I actually marked off 2 scenarios over here. So if you look at the top level over here and remove the RSI, and we simply mark the 46 to 49 months, but instead of taking our anchor point from the wick high over here, we take the anchor point from the first top that we had in 2021 cycle, because remember, there was a double top scenario. 1 came down, and 2, a lot of people believe that the second top was artificially driven by leverage, as well as Michael Saylor coming into the market and rallying up the troops over there. So should we anchor the first top from here and we go 46 to 49 months, 46 to 49 months later, well, that will take you into the yellow box over here, which lines up with everything that we're looking at with that February to March 2025 for continuation of this bull run. You can take it a step further and use other data points which would show you where the top is actually in. It usually gets this timing-wise within a couple of weeks. Price-wise, you can't really predict that, but timing-wise, you can. And that's a pi cycle top indicator, which simply just utilizes the 350 and the 111 moving average on a 3-day time frame. And what you'll usually notice is that when the short moving average crosses above the long-term moving average, then you get this regression of the blue line over here, which is currently trending up. You get the regression of this blue line where you expect it to come back down and revert pretty aggressively into those moving averages. And that's where all of the tops have been set. If you look at the relationship between price and that blue line right now, you can see the blue line is still very much angled towards the upside, and you're waiting for that curvature to start to round over. And again, timing wise, I've given you all the timing aspects. You're looking to line that up with February, March, April 2025, anywhere around that first quarter, towards the end of the first quarter is where you want to start to play a little bit more of a defensive game and become a little bit of cautious as price moves into those levels. So pi cycle top not in yet. There's no indication that a top is in. There are a lot of people who are actually quite respected within the crypto sphere who are actually already starting to call for a major top and say that the cycle's over. But I beg to differ. You see price moving towards the upside, consolidating over here. And if you use simple technical analysis and you look at a big move like this up and a long-term consolidation, well, usually those consolidations lead to continuation higher, also known as a bull flag, right? Maybe you can take the poll over here, going into the flag over there, and that would have a pretty substantial measured move well into the $100,000 territory, potentially even as high up as $120,000. So with Bitcoin price being at $60,000, you still have another double on the table as a potential, but that doesn't rule out the downside risk, because there is downside risk, which I'll outline to you in just a moment's time. And we'll also go through altcoins, by the way. So get those altcoin requests ready. Start dropping them in the chat section over there. Now, another thing that you can have a look at is the relationship between price and those all-time highs using the Fibonacci candles also on a monthly scale. And what we've historically seen as well is once you start to push up towards those all-time highs, Fibonacci candles work out the averages, remove all the noise. You usually see straight continuation. So this consolidation, as long as bulls can hold up and defend $60,000, is still a positive sign whereby you might see higher prices. Now, again, Very, very quickly, before we do continue, I do want to remind all of you that there's just a couple of days left. You have 4 days left in which you can sign up to Whale School. There is a link in the description below. You'll need to go through to this exact link over here. Go through to the YouTube. If you scroll down, you'll see over here it says Whale School. Click on that exact link because there are a couple of scam sites that are out there. I don't want you guys to get taken. Please use that link. Click on that link. Sign up. Put your email address in. Click sign up. Simple as that. In 4 days and 6 hours we begin. You do need an exchange account with Crypto School. In order to sign up, you'll deposit $100 into that, but that's your money. We don't get any of that. That's not for us. It's 100% yours. You can use that to trade with. It's your educational school fees, probably one of the cheapest school fees you'll ever get. The course is valued at $4,000. You're getting it for free, right? Because the sponsors are covering the cost of it, which is why you use the exchange link, right? Makes sense, right? Also, to prepare yourself for the rest of the bull market, guys, consider getting yourself a NordVPN. There's a lot of cyber attacks around the world. It's less than the price of a cappuccino for the whole month, right? It's $3.33 a month. It's a couple of cents a day to protect yourself. They're also giving you a bonus with a sign up where you get the Saily eSIM data gift. That gives you data all around the world. So if you are somebody that travels, extra benefit over there above and beyond protecting your data. Okay, continuation of the show here. Let's go. So we had the hash ribbons indicator, which of course started to flip bearish, showing that miners started to sell because they couldn't keep up with the hash rate. They couldn't keep up with, or at least they couldn't keep up with the equations that needed to be solved. And consequently, you can see over here, we're still waiting for that to flip bullish. Now, the one thing that I can tell you with regards to this is that ultimately, it's a couple of days later. I know Eric Crown did a phenomenal show on the hash ribbons indicator. Usually, you're looking at not too long after you get the sell signal, do you get a buy signal on the hash ribbons indicator, which should lead into a major bounce, right? So that's why we're still playing the long side over here at the range lows, but we want to be cautious as price moves up into the 0.5 and 0.618 level, that being between $65,000 and $66,000. Failure to reclaim those range lows could be pretty catastrophic, where you'd look for lower prices. So that's something we're looking at over there. Also, the downside risk is still on the table as long as the miners continue to sell. And one of the reasons is also this. If you look over here at Bitcoin and Ethereum on the right-hand side using the monthly scale, you'll notice that the histogram on the MACD is starting to lighten and move towards the downside. You also have this compression into the 7 moving average, which is not a very, very strong one. This is a low time frame trend gauge. And if you do start to lose this, you could get a major pullback, which would play out that short side trade, which could potentially bring you all the way down to $43,000. And if you line that up over here, the 20 and the 50 MA are currently moving towards the upside, which would also meet up with major support around that $40,000 area. And on Ethereum, well, that would come up in about the $2,400 to $2,500 area. So it's not completely ruled out. And there's a very specific reason why. Because if you go through to the Bitcoin chart on a weekly time frame and you look at the futures chart, and we can simply click over here, we said that the futures chart might give you your first indication of what could potentially come next. Now, this is why you're caught between a rock and a hard place as a trader in the market right now, or especially as an investor. If you're a short-term trader, all you need to do is simply sit and wait for confirmation. Now, why are you caught between a rock and a hard place? Well, number one, because price is caught below the previous week's high, the previous month's mid-range, and the previous week's low, which are pretty key levels that you didn't want to see lost. Now, your best case scenario is that you can view this as a manipulated trade towards the downside, and then the manipulation will be a false move, which will spike back up, reclaiming the previous week's low, at which point you have a long trigger. But the problem is that the futures chart over here has closed below the 21 weekly exponential moving average, that being the yellow one. Closes below that are usually risk-off signals, which show that you might have a lot more downside coming into play, which means the miners continue to sell, and those $45,000 targets are on the table, right? Unless you see price spike back up. Now, there's a difference between, of course, the spot price and the futures price, because if you go to the spot price, well, spots are fighting tooth and nail to defend this level, and you would have your invalidation below the previous month's low. If you take that wick out, it's downwards towards $40,000. Unfortunately, that's going to open up that trade in full force. you're looking for this to be a manipulated candle if you're a bull, and bears are looking to close this underneath on spot price action as well. Remember, futures trades 5 days a week, spot trades every single day of the year, 7 days a week, 365. It never closes. So spot could still potentially close this above here, making the futures closing price action a little bit of a bear trap scenario. And then next week, futures gaps up towards the upside, leaving a little bit of a gap between the close and the new open, and opens up above the 21 EMA, and therefore the long trade is still intact. As it currently stands, myself personally, I'm still playing the long side until we take out the prior wick low that occurred at least on this candle over here, which was the 29th of March. Now, Bollinger Bands are squeezing in. We are in the presence of low volatility, which is something that you still need to be careful of. And then the other thing that I wanted to bring up over here was, of course, the super guppy indicator, right? If you look at the super guppy indicator, it's also giving a risk off signal. This is a conglomerate of different exponential moving averages, but sometimes you do get these trappy scenarios, right? If you look over here, there you go, price bounced. Went onwards and upwards. You had this one over here, price bounce, and now you're coming in. This one's a bit more significant because you're coming into the 200 daily moving average. Also, you have the average true range, which is approaching this very key significant area of major support, right? As volatility diminishes, the trading ranges become smaller and smaller, and I'd be looking forward to revert into this. If you can see that while simultaneously holding up this 200 MA, that might be a final line of defense for the bulls, but lose that and all of those lower targets come into tact where you start to lose the monthly 7 moving average, and Bitcoin starts to break down, Ethereum starts to break down, and then you have to open up those lower targets. So it's an important time in the market to be hedged if you can. But bears will also have their day, right? Bears are running out of time in the sense that they've attempted to hold price action below the pivot level for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now the 6th day in a row. Not to mention that actually this entire move down, the pivot level was situated above, and consequently it becomes almost impossible for them to continue to hold that momentum until and unless they take out $60,000. If bears can hold price under $60,000, you might lead into a capitulation environment with a big breakdown, and then again those $40,000 targets come into tact. But buyers should be stepping in over here. I'm one of those buyers. I am stepping in over here, and I'm looking for price to have a major mean reversion back towards the mid-range level over here. And that's where we put on our big boy pants and we ask ourselves the honest question, is the next move into here a lower high, or is this a bear trap where we have a full reclaim? So we're looking for the bulls to snap back very, very soon with the deviation. The pivot level is exactly where price is at right now, at current levels, which is 60,998, so a couple of dollars below. And as soon as it reclaims over here, the RSI will start to move back towards the upside. We're looking for the big spike up. That's our long trade. And this is where we put our big boy pants on and we ask ourselves, are we rejecting or reclaiming? If we reject, we flip fully short and we start to cut positions in a major way because it's unlikely that the next attempt at the range low holds, right? The next move towards the range lows, I believe then bears will take control and they'll send it much, much lower. So for now, we're long and strong until we get above the mid-range. If we get above the mid-range over here, we maintain and hold those longs, and we're looking for a bigger move up towards the range high and potentially a breakout. So, okay, all in all, that's all good. Now let's look at the 4-hour time frame to see how it's all lining up. We spoke about using this pivot level over here, right? At least if you use this touch point over here from the previous consolidation that led to the move up, touch point 1, touch point 2, breaks and holds above, comes back to test it, comes back to test it again. Anywhere around this region was opportunities to open up short longs, right? Short time frame longs. So you're looking for longs with stops below there. There you go. Better if you get one more move down into there. Reclaim above the range level. You have additional confidence. You can start to raise your stop losses, and then you're looking for the spike up, right, into mid-range. You are being held down, of course, between by the 50 and the 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame, and you should expect that, especially the 200, is going to act as pretty substantial resistance. Bears will be salivating if they can reject from the 200 EMA because that would actually be even worse for the bulls. You don't even make it to the mid-range. So that's something you do need to be careful and cautious of, right? Okay, timing wise, we also know it's one of the longest corrections that we've had. It is the longest in this cycle, having been 107 days, and bulls will be fighting to create the next high low. That's all you want to see if you're a bull. If you're a bear, you don't want that to happen. You obviously want price to continue to bleed out, and then following that comes a capitulation. Okay, let's have a look over here. Anything interesting or noteworthy? No major divergences. All looks good and well. Nothing really noteworthy to mention. If you do want to learn how to read these various different order flows, CVDs, things like that, remember, guys, Whale School, I do cover that. If you also want to learn about what I call the 5-point entry approach on how to scale into positions, permitting in and out of positions as well, that is covered in Whale School. Bitcoin dominance, okay, getting close to a breakdown, but it's not there yet. You can see, of course, the RSI rejecting off of that downsloping trend line. And then let's zoom in over here. Okay, there it is. We got this level over here at 53.83%. That's the zone you want to take out. You want to see a break below, a little bit of chop around there, clear rejection, and then come into a strong downtrend in the final quarter of the year. That would bode very, very well for the altcoin market. ETH BTC is really looking strong over here. It's pushing onwards and upwards, still attempting to reclaim. It's going to be slow, though. It's a slow grind. Usually that's how it plays out, right? First, it's slow, and then it speeds up towards the end with big, fast moves. If you look at the ETH USD chart over here, we're still being capped in this short-term downtrend, but we are expecting that somewhere within this region, if you might get one more deviation and spike below into the $3,200 region, then that becomes an opportunity again to look for final longs, something like this. And then you're looking for the sweep of all this liquidity towards the upside, breaking you back into the trading range. And then you expect the continuation of the ETH BTC chart, and you're targeting up to $4,600. So that still remains intact. That's the same. Okay, total 3, not too much to mention. But in terms of the bull market and continuation of the bull market, one thing that I do want to mention is that usually you see the IDOs, right? The seed round investments, those launch pad protocols, things like that tend to rally the hardest at the end of the cycle. Now, we are, of course, partnered with Commonwealth. They are one of the launchpad platforms that you can utilize. A lot of you participated and got the wealth tokens. By the way, I've received the competition winnings. As promised to you guys, I'd be giving away those winnings to you. So yeah, we'll think about how we're going to distribute that, because a lot of you signed up to certain things where we said we'd pull that data. I just wanted to update you and let you know that I am just trying to figure out logistically how to send out those wealth tokens. But for the rest of you who participated organically in the Commonwealth launch, well, you will be able to claim today, right? Claiming goes live today. It's at 12:15 UTC, which is today. Once you get those tokens, I do want to remind you, you can stake them. If you want to hold them, you can stake them. The current APY is 600%. And then I just wanted to get some facts over here around this. So if you're a top staker, you're going to have a say in how to sway votes for their future investments. Because remember, their funds ultimately go into a bunch of different coins. So if you click on the fund, for example, and you scroll down, the funds go into a bunch of different tokens, right? Cookie 3, 9 Heroes, Chirp, Duo Research Exchange, Block Lords, blah, 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 blah. There's a whole bunch of them. You see, there's a whole lot of them. Remember, you have a say in how they're going to allocate into those if you are a top staker. So there is a link below if you want to learn more about them. But just so you know, if you did do that, consider staking, right? 600% APY. All right, let's continue. Altcoins, what do you guys want? Let me know in the comments. What do you guys want? I'm checking the comment section over there. I'll wait, bring up some of those coins. Guys, also please smash the like button. Only 69 of you have smashed the like button. Come on, guys. There's more than, there's almost 1,500 of you live. Please do me a favor, smash the like button, and then let's take some altcoin requests. So one coin that I'm looking at is Render, right? I think you can get one more sweep down, but I think Render's been one that's been outperforming the rest of the market. I'd love to see something like that again. One more sweep down, maybe into 650. If it can hold that level, that opens up the long opportunity. Okay, let's go near. Where's near? Near is, there we go. Okay, let's have a look at near. Okay, near still caught at range lows over there. So this is a very, very key level, but it's spending a lot of time over here, which makes it a little bit worrying. Let's zoom in. Let's go on the hourly time frame. I think your longs should have been stopped out at slight profit or break, even depending on where you raise your stops to on this trade over here. So there you go. You would have been stopped out by now. This is the near trade. Still possible, right, that you get the deviation. Now it'd simply just be waiting to go long again for the confirmation. Take out these highs over here. So big spike up, throw back. Then we have something to work with. Can take the trade again. Stops go below, trading it back to the mid-range. Alternatively, you could actually even start to look to flip short if you wanted to hedge. This is what the short trade would look like. And this is a reality, guys, right? I mean, this is what happens in trading. If bulls can't reclaim, well, the short trade starts to open up, and that would look something like this. Okay, I would look to start to scale into shorts like that, and I'd be targeting all the way down over here. You can trade the market both ways, remember. You can trade the market both ways. That would be a wide stop. A tight stop would be something like that, but I would leave it with a wide stop, looking to scale into shorts as well. You can always take the trade both ways. If bulls can't get price, springboarding off of here, and bears capitulate price, the risk to reward looks the same. Okay, actually almost even better to the short side. Okay, we'll go into some of the Trump coins because I know they've been pretty heavily hit. Let's just let this load up. So by the way, guys, I migrated everything from Google Chrome onto Brave browser, and I see I'm facing the same challenges over here. I don't know what is going on. My hardware is rock solid on this laptop, so it's as good as it gets. Let's just reload that. While that reloads, let's have a look at the Atom trade that I was taking. So this is the Atom trade. It was, of course, dropped in the whale room community over here, so we can go through. There it is. The Atom trade. Let's just quickly go back to the top over here. There we have it. There was the Atom trade. So we were looking for something like that ages ago. There you go. So far, it's been playing out almost to perfection. Remember, whale room is where we drop the additional alpha, extra education. It's not just me. I have a community of amazing, amazing traders there. And then, of course, the team of traders. We have Mo, we have Chris, and myself there, obviously dropping tons of trades. We're looking at something like this on Atom. If Atom can break down all the way back down to about 650, we're looking to re-long it. We did also take this trade on BingX, and we linked the BingX account to TradingView. So you can actually take the trades live through TradingView like this. If you do want to join alongside, there is a link below to BingX as well as Whale Room. So that's the trade on Arweave. We took 50% of the profits over here. Why? Well, you can see over here on the left-hand side, on the short trade at least, this was a pretty significant area. You can leave the last 50% in case, and at this point now you can eliminate the risk completely. So if you're someone that took that trade, consider eliminating the risk. So far, you're in a short-term downtrend, you don't have lower swing lows yet, but you have lower highs. So we're waiting for a break below that 50% level. That should look good all the way down here for a big bounce from 650. And then we re-longing. If you can break above this level, it opens up a pretty huge trade. I'll show you why. So let's quickly go to Atom. This is why. This is why Atom will open up a pretty big trade. Let's move that up a bit. There we have it. Okay, is it going to load up? I don't know what is going on. Anyway, while this waits and tries to load, you can see clearly this is your range lows over here. This is going to be your range highs. You're looking at a big spike up, potentially all the way for swing trades, right? Just deviation of the range low back to the top side, $14, $6 to $7 to $14 is a 100% move. It seems like I've lost. Okay, I'm on the wrong watch list. That's why. Okay, let's go back. Portfolio. Let's go. Atom. There we have it. Okay, got it. That's the trade. That's what we're looking for. Deviation, sweep up to 960, and then after that to 1240. All right, Ondo. Let's go to Ondo. How's Ondo doing? Okay, still chopping around a little bit, but and we're on the 4-day time frame. Let's go back on the daily. So looking for a move into on Ondo, $1. So the 0.65 to 618, that's that golden pocket. $1, 99 cents to $1 is a good zone to get long. Okay, OM on its way up again, kind of chopping around though. What else have we got? DOT. Yeah, we can have a look at DOT. Polkadot. There we have it. Okay, breaking out of that level, right? Down sloping trend line. Let's quickly add that in. There we go. Make it bigger. I'd wait for the sweep back down to 590, which is going to be, or 594, which is going to be your mid-range. Okay, I'll take some more in a bit. Let's quickly go on over here. Let's just have a look at this. Let's see. 𝗕𝗘𝗧. So by the way, 𝗕𝗘𝗧 coming into a pretty key area over here. Range low, downsloping trend line. I think eventually you're going to start to see this break. Something like this. Eventually you're going to start to see this break. When it does, I'm expecting big moves up towards the mid-range and thereafter to the range high. And if you can start to break out of this range, you're opening up massive targets, possibly as high as 20 cents, which would be about a $300 million market cap on 𝗕𝗘𝗧. So back to high block capital. See, everything's reset. What is going on, guys? Everything is reset here. Okay, let's reload that. Okay, 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢. We can look at 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢. 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢. Here it is. Let's add it. Since I moved everything over to Brave, I have to reload all these things. So let's take another look at this. Okay, $8 million market cap and the price action. Okay, I mean, it's still downtrending. You really need to see this reclaim. This has been bleeding out. You really need to see this reclaim over here, which unfortunately, I have to be honest with you. Look at that candle over there, rejecting the previous support, now underside resistance. So that's not good. You want to see that reclaimed. You need to get above 0.01. Okay, is this reloaded yet? Okay, we got it. All right. Okay, Bitcoin negative on the CVD, right? So short stepping in over there, that could create a little bit of a short squeeze. ETH is still positive. Solana also negative, means presence of a short squeeze. The way I use this is if it's negative and you're coming into key support, I look to counter trade. If it's positive and you're in key support, I mean, it's neutral. It doesn't really mean much. If it's positive and it's coming into major resistance, I look to counter trade. So negative on Pepe coming into support, that's a long. With positive at support, nothing, right? Leave it. Near negative coming into support, look for the long. Okay. Again, covered in Whale School. If you want to learn more about that, it is in Whale School. Use the link in the description below. All right, what other ones do we have? Let's get a few more. Okay, let's have a look at Casper, since Casper's been pretty strong. Okay, still rejecting, right? I mean, this opens up the short trade as well. As mentioned, this opens up the short trade. Until you can get above and close above, theoretically, you can trade this both ways, and you can short it back down to the bottom of the range. That gives you a 3-to-1 risk-to-reward ratio. Alternatively, you're waiting for the break above. If you can break and hold above this line over here, that opens up the long. So it looks something like this. Defend that level. Boom, that's the long trade. That's Casper. But overall, broader picture, Casper looks good. Very, very strong. This is the 4th attempt of those range highs. You are pretty much trading at all-time highs. It's all opportunity. Any pullbacks that come down to 14 cents, if you're very lucky, 13 cents, that's an opportunity to build additional longs on Casper. Okay, Phantom. Let's have a look at Phantom. All right. Will Phantom rally the cycle? That is the question. Okay, losing a key level, right? Upsloping trend line. Strong range level. You're looking to flip this into support. Let's zoom in a little bit over here. We're looking for the presence of the W formation to play out. Could it be extended? Could it be like that? Of course, it's possible. I would be willing to bid if it came down to 50 cents, because that's just an extended W formation. High lows, right? Lows. High lows coming into 50% level. That's 50% of the prior wick. We haven't got there yet. And then that would be looking for the rebound and the deviation back into the range. That would be the final place that I would be looking to get along, or actually the earliest place, because I wouldn't long over here in the middle of nowhere. I'd wait for it to come down into 50 cents. Okay, Popcat. We can look at some of the, I said, let's have a look at some of the Trump meme coins. So let's look at MAGA. Because I know they had the debate and a lot of the coins started to dump straight after that. A buy the rumor, sell the news, right? It's okay. That was the long into the range high, back test into the breakout level. Okay, Foxy. Consolidating under the mid-range could lead to a breakout. Popcat. You asked for Popcat. Very strong. Okay, very, very strong. Breaking above the range highs over here. It looks good. Very, very strong. Okay, Rune. Okay, still waiting for that. 355. That's where I'd have my bids. 355. AVAX. AVAX definitely downtrending. It's got a lot of work to do. It hit the mid-range level over here. You can't really get bullish on AVAX until it gets above $31. Otherwise, this is straight downtrending, and my expectation would be a move down to 18.96. Link. Okay, attempting to hold this as a new level of support, a new range low, call it that, at $12. Nothing under $12, right? If it holds $12 bullish, anything under $12 becomes bearish. Okay, Bonk. Also dropped Bonk in whale room in advance. I mean, that one wasn't too bad. That had a pretty decent setup. Let's just quickly see. Where's all my meme coins? Here they are. Bonk. So there it is. That's the trade. It was dropped in whale room as well. Long from the bottom over here. So far, you'd be up 22%. I can go a little bit lower time frame. Okay, there we have it. Still maintaining the high lows. Not a bad area to start to look for new longs. Stops, of course, go below these swing lows over here. You're looking to hold above the white line, which is your, on a low time frame, your range high breakout level, which you are above right now. So you want to hold that. But you did reject off this trend line, which is what we're looking at the last time. Okay, EWT. Haven't received that one for a long time, but let's have a look at EWT, Energy Web Token. Unfortunately, this one just has not performed. It has everything fundamentally bullish about it. Massive partnerships, ties to BlackRock as well, ties to Shell oil company. So if you look over here, it's just range bound, right? Remember, there's such a thing called an opportunity cost. Like, if you bought the range lows, you haven't really lost money, but what is the opportunity cost? I mean, if you haven't made any money this whole year, that's pretty catastrophic. Maybe towards the end of the cycle, we'll start to get a little bit of attention and catch a bid. I still think you could get a proper power of 3 scenario, which is a long-term accumulation, right? Let's just draw that in again. Long-term accumulation, manipulation, down, big scare, breaks back into the range, and then, of course, expansion. Something like that. But we'll pull the trigger when the trigger presents itself. Otherwise, for now, it's too risky. There's no trade there. There's no trade there. You'll be losing money, unfortunately. I have to tell you the honest truth. It's just flat. You need to trade where there's momentum. Okay, boom. Let's go to boom. All right, which boom are we going to choose? The Binance boom. Let's go to Mexi. They always launch first. So Mexi boom. Okay, what is the market cap anyway on boom? The Book of Meme. That's what BOEM stands for. 694 million market cap on BOEM. Yeah, I mean, this is the chart over here. It is respecting this level as a range low. So I guess it's as close to a bottom as it's going to get, right? I don't know the backstory of BOEM, who the founders are. I don't know any of that, but you are downtrending, of course. But if you are going to pick it up, range lows are the place to do it. Okay, I'd be looking at something like that. So if you can pick it up at the bottom, sweeps below, that's the place to do it. Of course, confirmation of the shift of momentum will be the break of that downsloping trend line, trade it back to the top side of the range, and then maybe it's one of those that go parabolic. Who knows? All right, what else? What else, guys? Weekend shows are for meme coin requests, guys. Not only meme coin requests, any altcoin requests. If you do appreciate the shows, please do me a favor, smash the like button. Also consider, using our exchange partners. Remember with Blowfin, if you do sign up and deposit on Blowfin, you'll get the baked airdrop. Pretty amazing website that they have over here. So you can check the tokenomics and everything. Click on that. Go and have a look. There is going to be the baked airdrop, which is coming out very, very soon. It'll be airdrop straight into your Blowfin account. You don't have to KYC as well. That's the beauty of Blowfin. And of course, I have Whale School, I have Whale Room, and they have a whale. So it just makes sense, right? Okay, let's continue. Let's go into some more altcoins. Okay, what else have we got? What else have we got? Anything else worth looking at? How's Injective? Okay, not looking too good yet. Injective's got a bit of work to do over here on the daily time frame. Probably only bid this when it gets down into 15. Ton, how's Ton doing? Still very strong. Still very strong on Ton. Solana, how's Solana? Okay, also looking good. Still expecting something like this. Probably a rejection coming in over here at about $163 to $65 is going to be a big resistance area. Okay, we haven't looked at the DEXs forever. Have they ever recovered? GNS all the way down at range lows. 1 inch. Also not looking good. Just quickly spread this up a little bit. Okay, at mid-range, no bid here. No bid on any of these. It's definitely, for anyone that's an investor in this market, has been painful. I think this has been the best traders market we've ever seen for crypto, as opposed to like prior markets as the buy and hold strategy, right? DYDX approaching range lows. So rejection off there, like I showed last time, now expect it to come into range lows. Maybe you get a sweep below. Again, if you want to be investors, the range lows are the place where you want to get those investment opportunities. You need to trade things with volume and momentum. There's no volume, no momentum here. 𝗕𝗓𝗅 lost the key level, which is obviously not a good sign. Rejected off the top side over there. Now it's looking like it's going to revisit all the way back down here. We can draw the level in. Okay, I think probably it's going to come down here. Maybe get a little bit of a bounce from there on 𝗕𝗓𝗢 whales. Terrible. Just delete that chart. Okay, Uniswap bled out that massive pump, right? This is why don't chase pumps, guys. Don't chase pumps. Do you guys remember? This is when they made a switch on their fees. Fully bled all the way out. Apex, one of the best trades I ever took in my life. I could not believe it. I went long on Apex here. I went to Australia for December holidays. I would have closed this position out manually if I saw this. But when I opened up my account just before flying back to South Africa, I was up here. Where was it? It was in December. I was up here somewhere. So coming into the end of January. And I think this was $1,000 to $20,000. That's where I started that Bybit account that I built up to now like $300,000. Crazy. All of that $1,000 trade. GMX, Also, range lows, but losing, it looks bad. It looks bad. I'm not going to lie. GMX looks bad. I don't think I'd buy that. Exchange tokens, BitGet token, actually still looking pretty decent. It's amazing how these exchange tokens run. Chronos, Crypto.com, obviously sponsors the UFC. They are coming into range low over there, which is pretty much this 85 cents region. Woo. Okay, not looking good. Deviated back into the range, lost the mid-range, probably coming all the way down to 11 cents at the range low. For some reason, people still trade this FTT token on Poloniex, however you want to pronounce it. And it has these pretty wild swings between 82 cents up to 250. Let's look at some AI. We spoke about render, GRT. Okay, backtesting into the prior range high. Watch as it approaches this 17 level. We're getting close. So maybe one more sweep like that. XAI, terrible. Oh my gosh. New lows. Okay, you're coming into mid-range resistance over here on Ocean. There you have it. Couldn't hold up the range highs. Again, just advocating why, you know, unless you're in the blue chips, you don't want to be an investor in these coins. Wouldn't be surprised to see a move back down to this trend line on Ocean Protocol. AGIX. Okay, it is right at range high over here, but I don't know. I don't know when there's going to be a bid again on these. Also, downtrending. Yeah, not much to say on FET. Meme coins are where it's at, guys. All right, a reminder, guys, Whale School, sign up. You have 4 days, 5 hours left to go to join Whale School. We only have a few spots left. If you do want to join, use the link below, sign up to Whale School, check out the exchange partners as well. Remember, Blowfin, if you sign up and deposit there, you qualify for Baked. BingX, if you do want to link that to take these trades, of course, on TradingView, where you can trade live through the platform. That is also there. I think let's end it over there. That's it from me, folks. I'll see all of you on the next one. I am releasing a stream tomorrow. Have an absolutely stellar day, and cheers for now.